open against the rattling window of an old rusty bus with a brown number 7 written in a circle on the side. It's funny to push people away when you're so lonely. I watch, fixated, as a city slowly emerges out of the desert landscape like an old silent movie playing in the rearview mirror, hanging precariously off the passenger side window. A shop, some billboards, a sudden sprawling metropolis of half-finished buildings and intertwining roads all come alive to a chorus of black and white taxis and old dirty cars. The sudden noise of the city is jarring. Between the buildings and the billboards flash the top of 3 ancient wonders, glorious and proud, reminding everyone why Cairo is more than a failed homage to a Western Mecca most people love to despise. Inside her city walls, the crowded streets illuminate the isolation. I feel it more, the more people there are around. Dusty roads with shops selling empty bird cages and baskets woven by hand. Men smoking shishas and playing dice before the calls to prayer echo through the streets. I imagine this life superior to the Babylon I've come to know. Still, I choose to hide myself in clouds. $14 million vehicles. The roads speak the language of the horn. From minibuses to tuk-tuks to old rusty trucks with people sitting casually on the top, driving here is like playing a game of Tetris. Except here, you lose, and people die. We drive past a pile of cars and trucks, desensitized. Women with boxes on their heads and mopeds carrying full families, babies in their arms, no helmets. Men carrying trays full of food and baked breads. Tall men in galabayas and angry women shouting, Imshi, Yachbabentik. Waving their slippers at young boys staring at my yellow hair, and I wonder, where do I even belong? It's been so long. The sun sets behind a smog-ridden sky, lighting it up like America on the 4th of July, and its city lights start to twinkle, one by one. But this is a city that doesn't sleep. The night air brings reprieve from the day's blistering heat, seeing more people out onto its streets, and the sounds of song and laughter start to fill the evening air. not like I know these streets or they were ever safe for me to roam. I don't speak the language they speak in attitude or tongue. The pain of being here has always outweighed any joy I could have ever known, and Cairo is not a place that I could have ever called home. But we share blood. Doesn't that count for something? Centuries of secrets gifted us with grace and knowledge, with mystical prophecies and historic solace. But the wisdom that's trodden through this dust before me seeps and secretes into me. Oh Cairo, what pleasures have you known? Thieves steal what was never theirs, collateral damage of the thrill, the sins they bear. But in my search for an escape route, I never thought about what was taken from me. I just looked for sanctuary, and my ancestry became the trade-off. But in Cairo there is more than the brutality of the past. There is a history denied. I wonder what would change if the truth were known. I turn my back. Do they judge me or envy me? Is there even a line between? The women here are tough, raised by a city that has taught them how to survive. Smiles hide sins men don't try to disguise, while women cower their light and continue to live a patriarchal lie, all in the name of a regime they long ago gave up hope in. But fear controls tougher than any weapon or military coup. 50 years of dictatorship crumbling like rotten cheese, while the walls announce the rise of an inquisitive youth. The words, if your government shuts down your internet, shut down your government, sprawled in red paint on the sides. Perhaps change is afoot. But Cairo doesn't cry. We share our secrets, her and I. She sheds no tears for her past, no rain she cries. She glistens with the jewels the Nile supplies, pulsating her heartbeat through her desert lands, feeding her 20 million people. She'll never tell. She never cries. I wonder what my grandmother would have made of me. A woman I never knew, whose influence has trickled down like ever-decreasing circles affecting the lives of 3 women she could have never have imagined. I denied these parts of me for so long. The diamonds in the dirt, the humanity trapped in hell. Why did I never think about what was taken from me? Why did I never tell? Thank you.
This one's called Familiar Feelings. Hello, darkness, my old friend. Come to talk with you again. Yeah. I bet no one in the world would care to listen to my rhapsody. Like hell, I am the first to try and put it into words or melody, mirroring what's done before. Singing 60-year-old songs, it just isn't comforting me anymore. I've done my best to write my own and done it badly. Everything that can be said is written, sadly. And everything that can be heard is lost within a murmur of the crowd. Listen, I can repeat the same old rusty lines and scrape the bottom out of this tin can telephone through time. Simon and Garfunkel, okay, went through some stuff, alright? Singing along ain't helping mine. I'm the Depressed Poet. a poem that is called Everything is Great. Everything is great. And language is performative. I said, everything is great. I'm doing great, and I'm happy to be here with y'all today. And language is performative. What that means is that it cannot lie. Language is the only way for me to talk about myself, so all of me it has embedded. Although my arms are shaking, eyes water out of hatred for myself, in fact, that's the sole reason I had said it. You are my magic mirror, my motivational poster, my live, love, laugh bedroom sign with multiple non-matching font types. You are the single reason I get up out of bed sometimes. I'm not making this shit up. In fact, with you as my performative and linguistical chaperone, I'm gonna fake it till I make it. Try my hardest just to cheer up, stick my tits out and chin up. If you say so. Now, class, répétez s'il vous plaît. Please, watch this, I'll demonstrate. Everything is great, and language is performative, so say so. After the applause dies away, I just want to live another day, so please say so. Everything is great, and language is performative. Thank you. Right. So I've got two slightly longer ones. You see, I go downhill on the mental health training, and then end with a poem about climate catastrophe. Because that's about the chair. That's the old chair or something. Okay. This poem is called Self-Care Isn't Rocket Science. You know what rocket science is? I know, because I once fucked a rocket scientist. Which is some kisses and a blowjob. But I'm sure some of its smarts must have somehow rubbed off. Because if I recall that night correctly, which is a challenge in and of itself, now trust me, I think that when he put his rocket ship down my throat and called ignition, there's two things this lust-driven, drunken courtship did instill in me. First of all, his scientific wisdom was instilled in me. And secondly, I had to agree to swallow his entire rocket fuel meal to succeed in becoming a member of his rocket science school deal. Which I did indeed. So now I know what rocket science is. And I'll share it with y'all for free today only. Okay. Rocket science is, you see, simply put, the science of rocket scientistry. It's definitely no mystery. Its borders clear to see and demarcated easily. And anything else is a different thing. That isn't it. Simply isn't science done by a rocket scientist. Now, I am sure that if I hadn't sucked him off in that deserted parking lot, tonight I wouldn't have known where to start. The topic at hand, unpleasant, dark. But please consider it as a fun, quite long and winded remark in an otherwise serious poem about self-care, right? Because the title to this poem, self-care, isn't rocket science. So what about that bit? Because I know it isn't. Rocket science, that is. I know. You can tell me 1,000 times to brush my teeth, but when I'm depressed as fuck and refuse to eat, at some point it will show. Listen. I've got a long list in here, a flow chart, with all the wonderful advice from friends I've taken to heart. All my childhood psychology and amateur neurology, quack 5-minute craft life hacks stored in the repository. I know. I got to take my pills, sniff the oil, eat some food, extra salt, drink, water, shower, shave, call a friend, go for a walk. It's piss easy if you've got the mind space in your head to do it. But sometimes it's easier to pretend that you're dead than to get to it. When the list of things simply is uncountable and just getting out of bed sounds unsurmountable, that's when I remember that quickie with that weirdo though from a long ass time ago. It helps, you know? It helps to see that this scary list of tasks I have in front of me still isn't difficult enough to wish that I was history, that there was a time when I had fun, and that it'll be fun again soon. Just gotta work even harder to become this better me. So with Writing this poem and remembering this weird dude and our short-lived alliance, I believe that in the next moment of my depressed defiance, I will summon the strength to get out of bed and fight the lions. Let my inner demons know that doing self-care isn't one bit like rocket science. Last poem, Climate Catastrophe. It's called Plastic Dinosaur. Even a meteor wouldn't make plastic dinosaurs go extinct. Even a tidal wave wouldn't get rid of Barbie's California Dream Girl caravan. Even a full-scale US Army air raid wouldn't burn all the plastic party hats we've made. Nor would a nuclear attack, born out of mutually destructive hatred, disintegrate the unwanted waste that we've created. Instead, our consumerist sins and lusting thoughts created for everlasting plastic gods. We have manufactured false idols and effigies out of our own world's energies. And this, my friends, will remain the single biggest blasphemy we have committed recently. Thank you all for joining me tonight. And hold your hands, join me in prayer. Thank you all for today's gathering, because, good Lord! No, you must be listening. Ye, who's been with us from the very beginning. Good Lord, we've started a holy war against ourselves, and it's time we gave up winning. Please, dear Lord, come save us. Nay, the earth from our own sinning. We pray and open up our souls for you to see the justice in the great apocalypse and Mother Earth's rechristening. So hallelujah, we are ready. Good Lord, you as a shepherd among men, we ask of you to send in the Playmobil and Lego horsemen. We, God, we're ready to receive your judgment. We are ready to repent. Only you can help heal the earth, surely. Only a miracle can save us now. Only you, God, can help heal us of the Furby.
I learned a fact the other day, a stat I can't seem to bottle away. Like a barrel of wine, it ferments in my mind, its boldness brewing, the bitter taste of capital stewing. Did you know that if you cut up my body and sold all its parts, its market value would far surpass the income my labour could ever earn, for the profit my dead corpse could turn? On a black market where some make billions, my flesh and bones in dollars are worth 60 million. Did you know that my lively limbs could never create the rates my limp liver would generate, or that the price for the content that flows through my head won't come close to the proceeds if it was found dead? If you cut out my heart and served it on a dish, then could I be considered rich? It's funny, I used to believe that if I worked hard, one day I'd have enough for a house and a car, and if I made sure I was productive non-stop, I might climb right to the top. Turns out, the quickest way to be self-made is to not let one piece be put in the grave. But please excuse me for being so crude. I know stating my worth is very rude. There's more to life than earning a wage, as high as those who rule corporate states. Volunteer, work for free, contribute to society. There's lots of jobs that need doing, like nursing the sick and fixing the sewers, but beware that the less you make for those in suits, the less your labour will bear fruit. If being kind makes your heart content, then I'm afraid you won't be able to afford your rent. Remember, you and I are worth more if we're not breathing, unless of course our jobs keep us kneeling to those who profit of our plight to survive. So we line their pockets with our precious time, hoping that if we're productive enough, we'll prove our worth before we bite the dust. I used to fall for such disillusionments. Now I see the world and lament how we can all be split apart and priced up for our different parts, as if divided we could ever be more vital than our living, breathing entirety.
So, loving you is easy, liking you is harder. I live for my beliefs, so I'm not really trying to be a martyr. People ask me where I've been like I was Mr. Carter. My life's not easy and I think I make it harder because I'm trying to do better. Any conversation with family is just a reminder that boo-hoo, homie, better learn to swim. Heat coming in, no shade for the color of your skin. It made me think who's looking out for me. Sit down and jot for me. Rent-free, just pissing on my property. Trying to do this possibly, probably, but it's hard for me. Work shouldn't feel like a job to me. Awkwardly all for me, they're like, yeah. But when you make a mistake that disappear, you're already lost thinking life is fair. In the end, really ain't nobody cares. That's why I keep my thoughts to myself in case I sound stupid. My trauma's got a sound and I dance to it. I can't sit still till the cash moving. My inner voice sounding like a brat. I'm trying to do better, do ever. Food on the table of words I put together. It's not contagious, but I choose to mind my business. But the way I've been chasing dreams, I should be bragging about my fitness, but loving you is easy, liking you is harder. Thank you. So, because of our young, sorry, what's your name? What was your name again? Kiwi, yeah. Because of like a lot of the themes that he was talking about, I thought, okay, let me just switch up what I'm going to talk down my next piece and just talk about more like my own mental health and like different stuff that's been going on between like me and my friends and everything. And this is a very, not a very long piece, but it's one of my favorite pieces because it dives. I'm somebody that it's hard to really know what goes on with me. I don't share a lot, but through a lot of the pieces that I have, you get to know me a little bit. So if you don't know me, you get to know me now. So I'm a music producer. I've done some production and some rap. I write for a lot of people, and I wrote this not long ago because I kind of stepped away from it. I do project management now because like the artistic life was a bit different for me. But this kind of happened after I met up with a specific label, and things were going great, and it just didn't go as planned. So I'm just gonna perform it. A couple weeks ago, I sat and met with a label. See, things were looking up, but the downs what did the damage. Cause then they stopped responding, and that's when I start to panic. At the same time, I'm not surprised, but it's life, and I understand it. Besides, I'm really not even that good at this. I'm just a mediocre, no hate making. A kid who wants to dream to escape from the pain of real life. I don't really mean that, but for the moment that's what it feels like. Mr. Good, but just not good enough. Mr. You can't penetrate the hip-hop culture because you're not hood enough. Mr. Keep your day job. Mr. You're gonna wind up as one of the ones who tried but just never got it, just stop it. You're gonna disappoint the little bitty fans that you got. You're gonna disappoint your mother, you're never gonna get discovered. You're not special, you're not different, you're nothing but just another generic rapper that's basically adding to all the clutter. I can see that these are words that came from somebody else. But these are words that come up in conversations, but with myself, but I get over myself. Why? Because I'm full of myself. The hungry part of me wrote this, the hungry part of me spoke this, even a part of me is hopeless, hoping because a part of me knows that it hurts, but it's hard to get noticed, and that's just part of the showbiz. And people tell me keep my head up, it'll be okay. And I just smile because there's nothing left for me to say. Meanwhile, I'm really wishing that they keep away, because no one truly understands the problems I have deep away. They're playing checkers, so my mind is thinking chess moves. I'm trying to force time so I can think about my next move. Not only that, I'm also thinking about my next two. I'll also be on sidetrack by this pretty girl I'm next to. If she only knew the weight of all my problems, would she still be staring at me as if she could help me solve them? I swear I'm losing it. I'm caught up in my thoughts. It's like they show you how to get through life, but still I end up lost. And everything I get in life doesn't come without a cost. So my emotions pay for every single lesson we had thought. Trying to keep a smile in the midst of all my pain is like trying to stay dry in the midst of all the rain. I'm hoping I'm the only thing that still remains the same, so my friends don't see I change in the midst of all the fame. But no one knows what tomorrow holds or who's to say, so I'm thinking about tomorrow when I lose track of today. Once I make it through this mess, I'm gonna be the one they blame, cause I did it on my own with little help along the way. This one here is my book, but I didn't put in every page cause I didn't want to talk about things like RA. So I didn't tell you that my family got evicted or that I completely ruined my relationship with my sister. If I could speak to her, I'll tell her that I miss her and say sorry that I didn't even send a gift on Christmas. It's like, I just wonder how I got here and how I'm supposed to fly when my whole world drops here. But just when I thought the storm was over, a close one passed away, another burden's on my shoulder. It's always ones that you don't call as much as you're supposed to, yet you can find time to text people you're not close to. Damn. So now I'm feeling all the pain when half the family's only hoping that their family's getting paid, and things are not quite merry when you can't afford Christmas, and people asking me why I'm not smiling in my pictures. If money talks, then I'm trying to sit and listen, but if money says it all, then my pocket just whispers. Because even with financial aid, I can't afford uni, but a bachelor's can teach you how to get through life's problems. So I'm not even stressing that I can't afford knowledge. It just means I find another stage and learn how to rock it. My dreams walk ahead of me. I am just a shadow, either there or out of reach, or I am just a tax flow. I'm a bad performer, all my life is just a bad show. At least I get this weekly child support from my mom though. How come life doesn't listen when I ask first, and even when I drive slow, I can't avoid the fast curves? I was voted class clown and class nerd. I hope my songs are good enough for fans to hear the last verse. Pictures in my mind, but I can't really describe them. There's pills that I can take, but the doctor didn't prescribe them. Problems tend to find me, so I'm just trying to hide them. My dreams trying to log out, so I keep my focus signed in. Music is my life, and every bar is a tear. I just hope the bass is loud enough to silence all my fears. I've been through hell and back and only lived 25 years. I got 80 more left, so that explains why I'm here. My life is a movie, but I wish I had 2 takes, so I can go from scratch with a new life and a new name. It's like, I just need to find a new place where cockroaches don't go around me as if they were freaking roommates. I set up dates with girls that I eventually postponed because I either got no money or I'm running out of clothes. So now she's disappointed. So now she's disappointed or she's crying back at home. But little does she know that I've been crying all along. And I should tell the truth because I know she'd understand, but it hurts to say I'm broke, so I pretend that I got plans. But I'm just home hoping I should find a better man that can take her out to dinner and put diamonds on her hand. Everybody's got problems. Why complain about mine? I'll just put it in a verse and then I'll make it all rhyme. Yeah. People tell me I need to sleep more though. I know I can't see myself to the seashore, so I've gotta be more. Patiently waiting to blow like it's C4. This is beef, then she'll start saying, oh girl, he thinks he can play us, all that work together, ring you, swear it was the playoffs. I see things from a different angle. If I ever said I love you, that's from your head down to your ankle, 3 a.m. in the darkness. A bad experience can leave you heartless. My past is crazy, but regardless, like J. Cole says, that's the best excuse for being an artist. This is no shade, girl, I can hang with you. I'll go as far as posting pics on the gram with you. But I'm not trying to hold hands with you. I can't have you thinking I'm the man for you. She said I'm kind of different because I'm known maybe. Keep talking all you want, sticks and stones, baby. Why getting something I know I might regret? There's 2 things I can't stand, deception and disrespect. She said my heart is non-existent, that I'm not committed. All them stories you make up more than makeup on your face, girl. Pain in her eyes, but she's smiling, you know, with that fake kind of laugh. Only chemistry between us would have been in science class. But that's a story for another day. Trying to console you, but you think I think it's all a game. If you really feel like I'm the one to blame, instead of talking behind my back, I'd rather you call out my name. Thank you.
Jeez. I've got 2 little pieces tonight. The first one's more about imparting wisdom on my younger siblings. I've got a bit older lately and I'm getting really broody and want kids of my own now. So I'm starting to think more about the lessons I want to teach them. You know, what do I want my impact on them to be? So this one's called Caress. Pride rushes to my head when you're close to me. When I look into your eyes and notice the wonder, I know I planted that there. As our arms wrap together, I can't avoid the twinkles in our eyes. As we become lighter together, through caressing our souls, we also transpond to a land of lullabies. As my pulsing heart sinks with you, my ears vibrate with a waterfall and flute melody. Fairies dance as we collide, making our guardian angels swing along with joy. Neurologically intertwined, we find our bodies healing with this newfound feeling of love. I want to liquidize this moment and spray it periodically. It grants me deep breath, it cleanses me, realigning my misguided morals. This provides me with a once undisclosed purpose, a new enchanted meaning to my daily steps. If this embrace is all I'll ever amount to, then succeeded with this life I have. To think one day I may be privileged and fortunate enough that when you grow and age that you will still want me to caress you, then I will have set you a solid foundation. If love fuels your heart's fire, then I have fueled your fire efficiently. If you one day begin to treasure this as much as me, I rest knowing that you've done well. For now, all these profits, I can't add much, but I'll always try to repay you with our embracing touch. Thank you. I'll do this one, it's a bit of change of tempo. So this is about when you got a bit of a crush on someone and it's getting a bit too obsessive and like you're checking their Instagram all the fucking time. You're like, why haven't they replied yet? You dickhead. This is called You're My Sweet Addiction. If you're the sweet, let me be the rapper. If you're the meat, can I be the matter? If you're the conversation, can I be the chatter? And if you're the highest of heights, then let me get my ladder. If you're the light, let me be the lampshade. If you're right, let me steer you the wrong way. If you're the scar, let me be the tissue. And if you're the ocean, a boat I'll give you. If you're the addict, let me be the needle. If you're the dun, can I be the beetle? If you're the pillow, I'll be your wall. And if you're the joker, I'll be your fool. If you're the pear tree, can I be your partridge? If you're the Game Boy, please can I be your cartridge? You're like heroin, you're my sweet addiction, you're my pharmacy, my abundance of prescription. Can it be the same? Do you feel this way? Tell me what to do, tell me the truth. Are we really in love, or am I just writing another poem about you? I've been JC.C, thank you very much.
Again, like Jay, I'm blind as a black bat, so I don't usually read off my phone.
When do you think the new album will come out?
Well, the album,
Or new EP song?
absolutely no idea yet.
Okay.
Literally, yes, very, very early stages.
Okay.
Okay, this is called End Credits.
Shall I play?
Whenever you're ready. I watched the movie, moving on screen, not really taking in the scene. I've seen it 1,000 times or more and it always ends the same. No matter how many times I pray that this time it might change. Shoulders flash, skin under the neon sending signals like pylons. We never danced like that when we went out to clubs, although we did nurse those same hang-ups. The TV makes cliches out of stories. The TV makes cliches out of stories we all recognise, for better or worse. I remember Malta and I smile. A dark humour, perhaps sun-drenched lizards in a Camino, but I guess you had to be there. We watched this film 1,000 times, half kissing, half hidden, half tracing histories with tongues and touch and secret identities no one else ever met, so no one else ever lost. But I guess you had to be there. And he is always there. So many tears and lovers later and he remains, for better or worse. Smiling at me in songs and in the prominent features of strangers he'll never get to know, so could never know why I stare. And I know it's rude. I know we shouldn't stare. If I believe in magical thinking, maybe magical things will happen. Maybe I can make the ending change. Maybe I can make his story change. His story ended a week after I turned 33 or 34, so now my birthday always exists with one foot in the past, reliving each step we placed on the paths we made and wondering if we could have placed them differently. If we could have changed history. She runs, I'm half watching, half cringing, half wishing for impossible things. Half reliving the chances I ran from, fully aware that given the same chances again, I'd probably run away again. If I'm wishing for impossible things, I wish I'd learned from my mistakes, but maybe that's the most impossible of all. Such minute detail, almost invisible to the naked eye, I had to shut them to see it, and he took me back to that room and pulled me back into the room, his grip gripping my arm, moments apart, pivotal moments, an emotional roller coaster, unsignposted crossroads. I didn't know. I didn't see it. I would have changed the ending if I had known. The end of innocence, the Tower of Babel, friendships that once fitted like Duplo stopped fitting and started speaking different languages to each other. Frustrated and confused by the lack of communication, we became strangers, but how could we have known? That when a butterfly flaps its wings across the other side of the globe, the ripples would affect the security of the world we had known. That it would end everything we had known. Now he lives on my arm, forever close to my heart, never far from my thoughts, and smiles to me in songs and in the features of strangers he'll never know. And I stare at strangers and remember a place where I belonged and wonder if I'll ever belong anywhere like I belonged there. If the Duplo will ever fit again. If I had stayed, would the ending have changed? Or is it just magical thinking to imagine I ever had any control? I would have stayed, for better or worse. I would have stayed if I had known. Thank you.